All right, got our brand new Lather Time. It's by Scalpmaster Lather Machine. Let's open this thing up. Doing this with one hand, so give me a second. Comes with some liquid shave cream, comes with a bottle, that's great. Comes with our mat, just goes underneath so you don't get your surface. Bam. As you can see here, brand new Lather Time. Nice and clean. Man, you can see here, this is our old one. All dirty. Look at that. Dirty inside. And we're not plugged in right now, but you'll just have to trust me that whenever we are pressing our button, nothing's happening. It was kind of shorting out at first, and then after a while it just stopped working. A couple of months back I actually changed the heating element in this, but right now I think maybe some corrosion on our power supply, where our power supply hooks up. But we are going to crack it open and see what's inside. Okay, so the first thing you want to do on the bottom side, in these 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a little Phillips head way down in there. You're going to need obviously a Phillips head screwdriver, but you need to make sure that it's one of the skinny ones and it doesn't have a big shaft towards the top, or you won't make it down in there. So take those out, and then we're going to flip it over. We kind of skipped a step, but we want to just go ahead and pop this stuff off. Look at all that nasty old. This machine does neck shaves, hot towel shaves every day, serving anywhere between 20 and 30 clients a day. So this thing gets its wear and tear, that is for sure. Next thing we want to do, remove these two Phillips head. I actually found what's best is just using needle nose pliers. You can get in there a lot easier. Keep on screwing until that comes all the way out. And once that's screwed out, this top should pop right off. Nice and dirty. Set that to the side. You can see here where all of the lather leaks through. So how this works is we press the button in here. There's a little spring, puts tension on it. And this armature moves, that clicking noise right there. And what happens is your fluid is sitting in this area right here, and it goes down in here, and there's like a corkscrew that spins in there, and it pushes the fluid out that way. And then underneath this little brass looking piece right here almost looks like a long piece of aluminum foil that these wires are going to, and that's your heating element. So if your lather machine you're getting lather but it's not hot, you need to replace this heating element, which should just be, I believe, whenever you buy the heating element, it comes with these and you just unhook them back here, and you just remove this whole little plate right there. Pops right off. Lay it down, close it, attach it, and you should be good to go. But that's not our problem. We had heat, we just lost all power. So I just plugged it in earlier, and I kind of heard some static coming from this area down here. So this connection could be our problem. Our little on-off switch could be the problem. Maybe some corrosion got in there. Or our whole circuit board could be bad. You can tell there's a little bit of corrosion in there. So we're going to do a little bit of research and see what we can find out. Okay, so I found our problem. Our hot wire just kind of blew in there. I noticed right after I cut off the camera a second ago, just jiggled a little bit, plugged the power back in, and it started working again. So I was like, wow, that's strange. So kind of started jiggling it a little more, and I saw a blue pop in there. I said, okay, we just need to order ourselves a new power cord, or at least our wires going in here. So just while we have this open, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to replace this heating element. First thing you want to do, there's a Phillips screw here, there, here, there, and here. Might be another one hanging out in there somewhere, but we're going to take off all those and then unhook this spring right there, and this whole element right here should pop right off, leaving the motor exposed, and we should be able to lift the motor out. And we'll take a look. Once again, make sure this is unplugged. Okay, as you can see, I got the whole assembly just kind of hanging off to the side. We have our 2 cords going to our heating element. And then just be careful whenever our little bracket right here, that is hooked to that little armature down there. Just don't lose track of that whenever you're putting it all back together. Make sure that's hooked up. All right, we're going to flip it over and see if we can get this heating element off, or at least show you how to do it. All right, we got the motor flipped over. So all you got to do is unscrew that one Phillips head, and this kind of comes unsandwiched, and you want to just take that piece out and lay the new one in, sandwich it back, screw it down nice and tight, and then put it back all together. But now that we got this thing cracked open, and I got hopefully get my part ordered soon, we're going to go ahead and get this nasty thing cleaned out. Show you this real quick. Got the whole unit pulled out. I'm going to clean that last. But we just have the empty case, little rubber mount for it. Got my little armature. Go ahead and pull that out. By the way, it looks nasty. It looks like tar, but it's essentially just soap. You know, it's the lather. It's all caked up. Turn your sink on real hot. That stuff will melt and go right down the drain. So I'm going to set this to the side. And then this power cord, which was our problem, go ahead and it should pop right out. Once again, working with one hand. Pop that right out. Then I'm going to just go ahead and wash this thing out real good. All right. Got our housings cleaned up. That looks a lot better. And got this all cleaned up too. Remember how that one was looking. All I used was hot water and one of those little cheap brushes you get whenever you buy a pair of clippers. They're good for something. And washed up my little armature bar too, and tried to clean this up the best I could. And I want to show you one more thing on this little spring device that you push down and, you know, activates and lets in the fluid. A lot of times these O-rings will go bad and you'll have to replace these. This one's still looking pretty good. Might end up just ordering one anyways, just to have one on hand. But AtlantaBarber.com, I've been using them for several years now. They pretty much always have everything I need. And as far as I've seen, they pretty much have all replacement parts for these lather times. Hopefully they have the power cord, the piece we need. Okay, so after a little bit of digging around and research, this is an older model, and these are what you would call like Molex style fittings. And as you can see, I tried to make a little repair here. The newer, if you buy a newer Lather Time, they're going to, all of these connections and these connections are going to be a fitting more like those here. Easier, quick detach ones that have the little rubber insulation around them. This is from the older model. Now, repaired it, plugged it in. It's still not working, at least whenever I just plugged it in like it is now, unless there's going to be like some sort of grounding issue once I actually hook it all in there, but I don't think that's the case. I think I've pretty much fried my whole board. Now, you can buy these whole new boards, but after you buy the whole new board and then the fittings to connect them, they also sell these whole new motors too. I mean, you might as well just buy a new one, just so you know you just have an updated one. You don't have to go through all this crap again. But at least you got to see how it's taken apart and just some of the general parts, how it all works. Like I said, just for the hell of it, I'm gonna go ahead and put it back together, and I might end up buying one of those boards anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do this one-handed. We're gonna set this in here. So I was just messing with it a little bit and I actually got it to go, but you might be able to see a little dark spot right there. Now it blew that one. So yeah, if you're having this problem, just go ahead and replace this whole board or get yourself a new one. But if not, if it's a newer one, the detachments are a lot easier with the newer ones, and you shouldn't have this problem. So unfortunately, this one is going to the scrap pile. The heating element and the motor, and then, you know, some of these miscellaneous parts can still be used. I'm sure I'll have to repair my other three at some point. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hold on to this. Like I said, go into the scrap yard. But in order to put it back together, like I said, you would just put in those two screws, attach your spring from here to there. There's a little loophole right there. Make sure all your cords are tucked in. Make sure the power cord connection is in that little slot. Put the cover back on. You just screw that back in, tighten it down a little bit, tighten down the little nut on top, and then just your two little screws. Hook in your little piece right there. That's the piece that pushes down. And whenever it pushes down it activates this, which is pushed by your little button, which is right there. So, unfortunately, like I said, we couldn't get it fixed, but if you have any questions, comment, maybe I can help.